In this video, I'm going to explain how you can work with special percent references while charting in Power. And in order to make the whole topic of percent references easier to understand, we are going to take a look on two exemplary cases where it is necessary to set special percent references. In this Excel sheet, you can see the data that I want to use to create a chart. There are two employees, and in these two rows, we can see the sales that each person made in the respective months. In this row, you can see the sales target per person in the respective months. Now I want to create a mixed chart in which the sales of person 1 and 2 are visualized as columns, and the sales target is visualized as a line. To do so, I'll link this basic clustered column chart to the Excel file that we've just taken a look at. Note that we also created a whole video on Excel links if you'd like to get further information on this topic. The next thing I have to do is to navigate the series menu in the action bar and change the type of the sales target per person series to line. Additionally, I want to display the percentage of the actual sales that each person made of the sales target. I can do this in the Data Labels menu and select the option Value and Percent for my data labels right here. Now you see that we have two issues that are both easy to fix. Firstly, the series of the sales target also uses the data labels that display value and percent. The reason for this is that the data labels are defined globally for all data points in the Data Labels menu. But I only want to show the values in the data labels of this series. Therefore, I'll simply select Secondary Value Axis in the Series menu right here. Because of the use of a second axis for this series, I have the possibility to define the data labels that belong to the data points of this axis separately. Now you can see that the data labels are only consisting of the values, which is the default setting, and in this case also the desired setting, but I could also change that here. Moreover, I can switch off the display of the axis right here in the Properties menu. The second issue that I want to fix is the following. You can see that the percentages that are displayed are not using the correct reference value. The correct reference in this case would be the corresponding sales target and not the sum of the two columns. I have the possibility to set the reference for my percentages by defining a custom label right here in the Data Labels menu. In this window, I have various options to define my own custom label. Note that we created a separate video on data labels if you'd like to get further information. Right here, I can choose the reference of my percentage, which would be the sales target per person series. Then I apply this custom label by clicking on OK. And now you can see that we got the desired result and both issues are fixed. And this is what special percent references mean and how you can change them. This first example was a rather simple use case. This chart is a bit more complex, but the work with the percent references is quite easy in the end. Right here we'll see how we can work with special percent references in waterfall charts and with arrows in our chart. This chart visualizes a fictitious cost-saving program, where we have our annual costs right here and two cost-saving projects right here. Each of the cost-saving projects consists of savings that are already made, which are displayed in gray, and savings that are still missing in yellow. On this side of the chart, you can see the forecast of the annual costs of next year and the target of the costs for next year. Right now, I want to add percentages to each data label, but the reference for all percentages should be the 3,000 annual costs of last year. So how do we reach this result? Let's have a look at the mini Excel. Note that we also created a whole video on waterfall charts in which the structure of these charts and their data structure is explained in detail. Right here, you can see the 3 series that you can see in the chart. The annual costs, which are displayed in dark blue, and the 2 series savings as is in gray and missing savings in yellow. The last 2 series that you can see at the bottom are hidden, which means they are not shown in the chart. I can hide a series by unticking it in the series menu, as you can see right here. These 2 hidden series are necessary because we'll use them as references for our percentages. This series only contains values of 3000 and thus can be easily used as a reference for the data labels of all of our columns, which I'm going to do now the same way we've already seen before. I define a custom label and add the element of % to my custom label and set the right reference series right here, put brackets around it, and then apply my custom label like that. For our error, we need to work a little differently. Generally speaking, for calculating the percentages, I need a numerator and a denominator. The series of the 3000s right here and the reference that I define with it simply overrides the denominator and thus sets the right reference value of which I show percentages. But the error needs both numerator and denominator in order to calculate the right percentages. So in this case, I want the growth error's data label to display minus 23%, because we go from 73% here to 50% here. And therefore I need to insert a series that consists of a decrease of 23%, which can be created by any 2 values. So the simplest way would be a 1 and a 0.77. And if I use this series as a reference for my error, it will display that decrease of 23%. Now I only need to define the custom label for my error. By clicking on the error, I can select it right here, and the rest works similarly. I add the element of % to my label, choose the right reference, put brackets around it so all data labels have the same appearance, and then apply my data label by clicking on OK. And now you can see that the right percentage is added to our data label. Moreover, there's a separate video on errors if you'd like to get further information on how to work with them. I hope this video helped you to understand what special % references are and how you can successfully work with them. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.